It's time for the Wrestling Observer Extra.
Wrestling Observer Extra.
I said one more time for old time's sake.
With Dave Meltzer, right here on The Law. Live audio wrestling.
And let's go. We're now smoking with the best.
Welcome back. It is indeed The Law. Still to come in this hour. Tight about trivia and Mouth's interview with Cody Still Rhodes. But right now, we did want to chat about the TNA situation with Dave Meltzer. And before we get into asking Dave questions about it, let's update you guys on what has happened this week, because certainly a lot has happened. So here's a bit of a breakdown of what's gone on. This past Wednesday, Billy Corgan filed a lawsuit against Impact Ventures in Nashville Chancery Court. Corgan is seeking an injunction and restraining order in this suit. Now, on Thursday, David Bixenspan reported on SEScoops.com details on a recently filed lawsuit against TNA by Audience of One Productions for payment of past production work. There are 3 debts under Impact Ventures, one to Aerolux Media from March 14th of this past year, another to Anthem Sports and Entertainment from August 22nd, and another to MCC Acquisition Corp. from September 30th. Now, we were all wondering who is funding Bound for Glory this year. That, looking at the date, is who funded. Now, the latter 2 that I just mentioned are connected by the same address and as an extension of Anthem Sports and Entertainment, which, yes, indeed, is the parent company of the Fight Network, which owns this very show.
That's right.
So we tried to get comment from someone at the Fight Network, but at the moment, no one wants to speak, so we do not have comment from them. We have mentioned in the past, yes, the Fight Network does own a small portion of TNA. But that's not all. This week, also, Bixenspan later reported another issue involving TNA, with the state of Tennessee issuing a tax lien on TNA Entertainment LLC last month for unpaid taxes. Now, this means that successor companies that still have to cover outstanding taxes regardless of new companies being formed, such as the transition to Impact Ventures LLC. The tax lien gives the state the ability to seize assets. So as Mouth said in the break, they can go after Vanguard One at this point. One more thing, there was also an issue this week regarding certain music rights for Thursday night's episode of Impact, and led to the Pop TV version of the show editing out Mike Bennett and DJ Z's entrance music, and maybe not even going to air at one point. There was talk of that. I go now to Dave Meltzer, who is on the line with us. Dave, my question to you is, with Billy Corgan being so deeply involved, now filing this lawsuit, was it a matter of, was he aware of any of these debts and this tax issue as well, do you think, going into this?
I'm sure he was aware of some of it, because some of it was kind of common knowledge. Was he aware of all of it? I'm thinking no, but I can't say that for sure. I mean, I don't know Billy well enough to know, other than I know that, a lot of stuff is sealed. And there is stuff that I know, and one of it is that there was, important stuff that he didn't know. And that's one of the reasons that will probably be in the lawsuit. My impression is that the lawsuit will be unsealed on Thursday, in which case, at that point, we'll know exactly what he's suing over and what he is suing for. I know he's looking for an injunction, which I'm guessing is that they can't make a move. I know he wants to get the company, but there's so much debt. I mean,
still,
you went through everything. There's $3.4 million of debt just to Aerolux and essentially the Fight Network alone. Not to mention some of these other companies, so the debt's probably in the $4 million range, and that's not, and including Billy as well. So it's like, exactly, you want to buy it, I'm sure, but is it worth it? Or is it better to just start your own company? But they do have those deals in place in India, which does pay. They have the deal in place in England, and they have the Pop TV deal. And as we've seen with Jeff Jarrett and other people, starting a wrestling company and then saying, hey, we want to get on television in the United States, that is almost impossible. So the Pop deal, and getting Impact, the one thing you do is you get TV, but how valuable is that TV right now? I mean, it's like, you're talking about 300,000 viewers. So it's a real, it's been a tough situation for a couple of years, but it's really tough. We're really at the everyone's, like, it's like, how much longer can it go? We're really at that stage right now where I don't know what's happening next, and no one does.
Wow, it's crazy. I mean, Corgan, I'd love to know his motivation at this point, because really, this almost strikes me like one of those old kind of money mark things where they just found a guy that's got some money and they just did whatever they could to get the finances they needed without really filling the guy in on what's going on.
I think that goes with everyone that financed the last, whatever it is, 6 months, year of shows. They were all promised stock in a company, and now, but that company's so deep in debt that what's that stock worth? And I mean, and so it's I can see where everyone involved that has helped fund this is really upset. She had chances to sell before the debt got this bad, but wouldn't do it, and I think that's what really has put the company at an incredible risk right now.
This is 100% Dixie Carter's fault, correct?
Well, I mean, I can't say that, but everyone around that knows the situation absolutely blames her. Yes, mm-hmm. I mean, I'd say predominantly it's her fault. She's made all the wrong moves. I mean, again, when the time was when she could have sold it before this debt just picked up. That should have been when she did it rather than string all these people along. And now all of a sudden you're in a position where maybe it's not even sellable. So yes, in that sense, that's all her fault.
Yeah. And that's the thing, Dave, with these revelations now, I mean, is this finally going to be the last nail in the TNA coffin? I mean, we've said it so many times, is this company done? And they always seem to manage to stay afloat. But at this point, is this really it?
I hate to say what, again, there were a couple of times where it was almost it this year, and they always got that last minute final.
Yeah.
But the problem was that wasn't solving any problems. That was just buying time. And now, like, time is up, and the problems are much bigger than they were when they started this. So it's, I mean, who knows? Who knows? I mean, there may be someone willing to pick it up and say, like, look, hey, there's still a spot for a number 2 wrestling company. And I believe there is. I believe that there's a spot for a number 2 wrestling company in the United States. But, boy, it's tough because, again, man, with, once they lost Spike TV, I mean, that was just really a killer. And, I mean, if they still had Spike, you'd be buying something tangible. Mm-hmm. But without Spike, it's like, man, this is tough. I wonder if, if somebody could get on Spike, you could probably turn the whole thing around. But I don't, and Spike's had interest in wrestling in the last couple of years. But they've never pulled the trigger on it.
Obviously, both you and we will continue to follow this along, Dave. But let's continue on with a bunch of other news stories this week in the WWE as well. Paige, second wellness offense, she claimed it was for painkillers for her neck. WWE went out of their way to make a statement in the New York Post saying it was illegal substance and not a prescription drug, and added that the company is providing world-class care for her in-ring injury because there is a debate over whether or not she needs surgery for her neck. Where do the WWE and Paige stand at this point? Because these two entities seem to dislike one another, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the situation is they don't, and for lawsuit reasons and all that, they don't like to fire people when they are injured. So, and she is injured. She's got a neck problem. So they haven't fired her. Now she's got 2 strikes, though. She's 1 strike away from being fired based on policy. So, you could read something into that. But, yeah, like the big thing is she believes she needs surgery. She's got a very good doctor who says that she does. And at the same time, their doctors say that she doesn't. And so they're going to go with their doctors. And then you have the issue of, so if they're not going to, usually, it's like they'll pay for the surgery, but they're not going to pay for the surgery when their doctors say there is no need for the surgery. So that's that's a big issue right now with her. I mean, that's, among many issues. I mean, I don't know where this is going to end up. I mean, again, we talked about this months ago. I mean, when they split those 2 up in the brand split, I mean, you knew that there's a story behind it. And now as it plays out, I mean, you can really see that there is.
And obviously, it's not going to get any better now with Paige proposing to Alberto Del Rio in the ring in Puerto Rico just last night, I believe. Tonight, okay. So I believe it was tonight because it was in Mayaguez, and last night was
was Bayamon, so tonight was Magua. So I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's tonight, just a couple hours ago.
So I mean, that's not going to make the WWE any happier either. If this whole thing is partially about their relationship.
Well, you really can't control the heart and things like that, and everything. Although I'm sure they try.
They'll try, exactly. They'll try.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, plus, is Paige
Yeah, I
going to
know,
want
and but he's not. He's not going to say. I mean, they pretty much have an agreement. He's not going to say anything bad about them, and they're not going to say anything bad about him. And he's a free agent right now, and obviously he's got a million different things that he's doing.
Let's talk about Matt Sidell, because at the moment he does not have a million different things that he is doing. Perhaps time might be one of them, though. Matt Sidell, Dave? He was a mystery, but it's all come to light now. Lay down the situation for us.
Right. So when he went on that last tour where he disappeared, and it was so mysterious. He was at the Osaka airport. Evidently, he was caught with synthetic cannabis. And in Japan, it's just like, man, you cannot do that, and everyone knows it. Everyone knows. I mean, like, everyone that goes to Japan knows that you cannot bring marijuana to Japan. It's just it's their laws are so different from ours, and they got him with it. He was in jail. He just had his, I guess, trial. He was found guilty, and he's in Osaka, and I don't know what's going on with him. Other than that's the last we heard is that he was convicted in the trial a couple days ago.
Yeah, it is unbelievable because, like you say, Dave, everybody knows. I mean, Paul McCartney had to spend a week in jail when he got busted
couldn't come back for like 30 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like it's real bad for the image of pro wrestling. I mean, I know that they really, one of the reasons why we didn't find out was because New Japan was adamant about keeping this one quiet. Because, I mean, it's funny because, like, in our country, it's like, what's the big deal? Your country, my country.
Yeah.
But there, it's such a big deal. But Matt knows it. And, I mean, that's why I'm actually astounded because, he's been going to Japan for years and years. And he's having a really good career resurgence right now. And he was going to be in big matches there. And, wow, I don't know what's next for him.
Yeah, I would assume he's done in Japan.
I would think so, at least for years and years. Yeah.
Yep.
Dave, just want to touch on Bill Goldberg. We're going to see him tomorrow night on Raw for the first time on WWE TV in many, many years. What do you make of this? And is it a one and done, or is there more to Bill Goldberg with the WWE?
I mean, it's one and done as far as the match goes. He's got 3 TV appearances leading up to the match, and then afterwards, I mean, it's like the Sting thing. If you remember when Sting came in, it was for one match, and then there ended up being another match because he got over. With Bill, I mean, you never know what could happen, but right now it's the match with Brock Lesnar in Toronto, and that's it. But everything is subject to. I mean, if he gets, I mean, the thing is, of course, they picked the wrong city. We all know this. It's like Bill Goldberg coming back in most cities would be gigantic. And I mean, I'm expecting him, especially with Brock Lesnar being Canadian now. I'm expecting Bill to get booed out of the building, and then Vince is going to go in there and go, well, he's not over, and we tried, and that's what can you say? And the other thing is because there's no pay-per-view. If it's like all of a sudden it did like a great pay-per-view number, you'd go, well, look, the pay-per-view spiked. But since there's really no pay-per-view to spike, there's no way of knowing that. So I mean, for everything going with Bill, unless Bill does like this great television number, and right now nothing's going to do a great television number, and his second appearance is on Halloween night, and that's going to die, for sure. So everything is stacked against Bill. He still may pull it off, but he couldn't have picked worst. Everything is in its worst possible way. Plus, he's working with Brock, which is like the hardest match possible.
Yeah. And Dave, just a quick thought. How do you even if Bill's just in one and done, he should lose the match?
Oh yeah, well, I think that goes without saying. They've got so much money invested in Brock, they're not going to have Bill beat him, unless it's. I mean, the only way is if they decided they're going to bring Bill back and they're going to use like somebody to screw with Brock, and then Brock will then work with that somebody later. But
right.
I don't see them giving that one to Bill. I mean, Bill's not high on their list, and I mean, even now when they're working with him, like I said, it's like It's a one and done thing. It's to promote the video game, and it's to jack things up because right now they're kind of in a little bit of doldrums ratings wise, and the hope is that Bill will get some people to watch the TV right now.
Dave, in the Observer, I'm sure you're going to have the details on what Goldberg does tomorrow night. Along with that, a lot of TNA talk, perhaps.
A lot of TNA talk, yeah. That'll probably be the focal point on everything. But yeah, the big stuff's going to break Thursday, though, as far as TNA. So
Right.
That's actually not going to be in this week's Observer. At least that's the impression I got. Is that the thing? We're going to know a lot more at the end of the week.
Interesting, yeah.
Look forward to that, Dave, and we'll talk to you the same time next week.
Okay, have a great week.
Right, you too. Dave Meltzer, WrestlingObserver.com is where you can find his fine work, podcasts, etc., etc. Check it out.